The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch UK Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to Paranormal Concept right here on Parasearch UK Radio with your host, Paul Rook.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Paranormal Concept Show. Host Paul Rook, and tonight I am joined by the ever-lovely Kerry Greenaway. Hello, Kerry.
Hello, I'm starting to sound normal tonight.
Yay, you're so much better.
Yay, my voice is back. A little bit, it goes a bit squeaky occasionally, but I'm back.
Yes, absolutely. We've had a week off. You've had the week off the radio, have you?
Pretty much, yeah. It was like I had to do Friday, but I had Carl and MJ on, and basically they did the talking for me, so it was really easy.
Oh, that's fine. Not a problem. Okay, and tonight we've had a change of plan. The person that we was going to interview dropped out at the last minute, unforeseen circumstances and all that, considering it's a medium show. And I'll tell you, don't get me started on mediums. So, stepping in at the last minute, we have Andrew Ayres. Hello, Andrew.
Good evening. I didn't realise that I was playing second fiddle.
You was the first person that I approached.
I know. I believe you.
Absolutely.
We just brought you forward. That's all.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I've been on your case about getting on for about the last 3 or 4 years, and it's finally come to fruition. So I'm happy to be here. That's
excellent. Yeah, I've got a long waiting list. It's fine. So, Andrew, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into the paranormal.
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a very, very straightforward story, if I'm really, really honest. And it kind of just happened. I've always been interested in the paranormal since I was a kid, but never really done anything about it or sort of gained any really, really great knowledge, but just always enjoyed, finding out about things and is it real or isn't it real and all that sort of thing. And then what I did was I found myself working in the psychic arena. My wife is a medium, and she's been a medium for about 30 years. And we started organising psychic events and psychic fairs and premium rate telephone lines and things like that all around psychics. And then it just suddenly someone said, "Have you ever thought about doing a ghost hunt?" And that's kind of how it all started, really.
Yeah. So you sort of fell into it.
Yeah, I absolutely did. Talentless, I have to say, but just lucky.
Absolutely, it's all good. So, what was your first ghost hunt? And are you a sceptical person as well? Or?
Do you know what? I actually am. I'm very much in the camp of is there or isn't there. So, when we do our ghost hunts, we go out with the mission of finding out, well, is there or isn't there? So we try everything in our power to find out if there is something there. If there's something there, great. If there isn't anything there, there's nothing there. And so, we don't try and make things happen. It's really a case of a proper investigation, but albeit public. They're different to sort of, investigations with small groups of people and things like that. But it's very much the case of, is there or isn't there? And that's exactly where it is. My first ever ghost hunt, Hangar C2 at RAF Rawton.
Okay, and did you experience anything there, or?
Yeah, it's a really great place because it dates back from D-Day, and its history basically was it was where a lot of the troops lined up ready to go on the D-Day onto the D-Day sort of airborne assaults and everything like that. The other interesting thing about that hangar is absolutely massive, and it was where all the crashed aircraft of unexplained circumstances, I don't mean like paranormal type things, they're just aircraft that crash for no real reason, were taken for sort of investigation, everything like that. Some brilliant shadow figures and things like that we saw there. So it's a great location. It's now a go-kart track, and just recently they posted onto our page some orbs that have been caught on CCTV. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay. What do you think about orbs? The great orb debate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's, obviously there's ones there that are dust. I like to see what people capture, and they do cause a lot of excitement for people. Myself, I'm a little bit on the fence, but there are some pretty spectacular sort of orbs that have caught, and I again, if I just look at them, I just think, well, how on earth does it do that? And that's where I come from, really.
Yeah, I mean, I use the technical information from the ASSAP, the scientific community for the paranormal, and the Ghost Club as well. Both of them have got really good views on orbs and stuff. So when people talk about orbs, I'm like, they've been explained. I'm not really into them. I don't.
What do they say?
They're basically, I mean, they've got loads of diagrams and stuff of how you get the orbs from out of focus dust or bugs or even moisture in the air, and they will have diagrams of how it's the light bounces off the lenses of the cameras and all stuff like that. So it really does go into all the technical side of it. But what I can do, I can quite easily show you the page a little bit later. I can share that with you.
Great.
Get the link for it, and you can have a read through.
It would be interesting to see that.
There's also an evolution. You can see an evolution of orb phenomena through the development of cameras. It used to start off with twirly bars and stuff like that, and it's evolved as cameras have evolved, and there's something called an orb zone, and so what looks like it's actually further away and in the room, it's actually a lot closer to the camera lens than you think. So it's actually a fascinating subject all by itself, and I'm no tech wizard, and it makes a lot of sense to me, so definitely check that out.
She's researched it big time.
Yeah, no, it sounds like, but I mean, they're one of the things that cause most people so much excitement, don't they?
They do, and people do still sit on the fence an awful lot about orbs. I don't disagree with you on that, but I think from a scientific perspective, you have to look at these scientific groups that have really looked at this and studied it and looked at the evolution of orbs throughout that run, in sync with the development of cameras, and it kind of, even if you're not tech-minded, it kind of is self-explanatory. And so I am definitely not a fan of all, to be fair.
No, I'm not. But there are people presenting pictures to you where they're all sitting at a dining room table and there's an empty seat because that's where their friend used to sit that died of cancer, and there's an orb sitting in it, and they believe that that's their friend. It's like, if you want to believe that, you believe that. I'm not taking that away from you.
I just avoid those conversations.
Well, yeah, there's the odd time it's just thrust upon you that and it's like, well, yeah, you go with that if you want to believe that. I'm quite happy for you to go away thinking that that's your friend. If you take comfort from it, who am I to take that away from you?
I'm firmly in the skeptic's corner on this one.
It makes them happy.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone else, it's bugs, it's dust, it's rubbish. That's sort of where I'm at with it. So, how long have you been doing your running your company? It's Ghost Hunter Tours, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, and it's part of, our other company is called Psychic Gold Events, so Ghost Hunter Tours is part of that. We've been doing that for about 15 years, I guess, now, on and off. And the on and off bit really is sort of like I guess like a lot of people, I do other things as well. I mean, by trade, I'm an online marketer. And, you know, I sort of do little bits of consultancy for things like that. And I work at like casinos as a consultant and things like that. So a lot of the things that I do sort of work around all those other things as well. Yeah. But we're more sort of full time on the ghost hunt stuff. Probably in about the last 2 or 3 years, I would have thought, really, to be honest with you.
Okay, cool. And have you had many places do you do? Do you just do like one event a month, or do you just try and blitz it?
We're probably doing about 12 events a weekend.
Okay, cool.
So I guess we are blitzing it, aren't we?
It's just a tiny bit, but there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I mean, if it works, it works. I
don't know if you noticed, and I'm sure you haven't noticed. We did Dover Castle last weekend. Sorry, I'm joking.
I'm just a little jealous.
We did notice that. Well, he's going to gloss over that.
Yeah, we weren't going to mention that because we're too jealous.
Yeah, but I made you a kind offer for next time, didn't I?
You certainly did, and we were most definitely going to take you up on that. So, what did you make of Dover Castle?
What did I what? Sorry.
What did you make of Dover Castle?
Oh, well, I mean, the place is absolutely awesome, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost the point. If you'd have gone there and nothing had happened paranormally, it's still an awesome place. You know, I've sort of like, people have sort of said to me, what did you think of it? And I said, to be honest with you, it's the most awesome ghost hunting location that you could go to. And I don't mean that really from like the paranormal sort of point of view, but if you're going to a location that's overpowering, full of history, and, you know, if you do get a bit of something, you know, you put all that together, it's out of this world. I mean, it's really a truly awesome. And we only really scratch the surface of that place. If you look up on like what the history of that place is, I mean, it's out of this world. You know, even sort of its recent history is absolutely, you know, let's say recent wartime sort of history. I mean, it's a very, very special place.
Did you get to investigate the tunnels, the war tunnels as well?
No, we're not allowed to, like any other ghost hunt company, we're not allowed to hire the wartime tunnels because, and the reason for that is because they're in living memory for people. We investigated we investigated the medieval tunnels, and they're pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive if you can manage to stay on your feet walking down them, to be honest with you, because they're so steep.
Yeah.
So it's a must-do location if you ever get the chance.
I'm dying to go there.
Well, you're going to be coming with us.
Yeah,
we certainly are.
Yeah, we'll do a show on it for you.
Well, yeah, no, you got a deal. That would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah,
I think that's a given. I think that's a given, don't you?
I do too. Yeah.
So of all the locations you've investigated, Andrew, which one is your personal favourite?
Do you know what? I like a sort of a little off-the-wall one. And I think, Paul, you might have done it at some point. It's Brighton Police Sales Museum. Yeah,
no, I've not done that one.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I just really, really like it. But the reason I like it, it's fairly active, and I like the way that it's kind of run by the people that run it by volunteers, and that's what makes this hobby of ours so interesting. You know, you go to locations that are run by volunteers, and you know, you go to these places to have a walk around and have a look at it, and there's like hundreds of volunteers painting the walls at weekends and things like that. That's what I really like, where people have got a real passion about a place that you go to, that our hobby, profession, or whatever you want to call it, helps to keep that going. But that is my favourite, Brighton Old Police Sales Museum. I just really like it. I just do.
Again, that's another one I want to go to. I would love to go to the Emergency Services Museum up in Sheffield.
Yeah,
I think it is. That's another location that's on my list of places to do. Just because I've got an interest in the emergency services. That's all it is. Just to play on the ambulances, really.
Oh my goodness!
I'm gonna have to pull you on it. Why is that?
One of my day volunteer jobs is with St John Ambulance.
Oh, is it?
So I get to play with ambulances all the time, and just to be in the atmosphere of some of the old vehicles, and I'd love to do that. I mean, I even went down to Kelvin Hatch nuclear bunker, and in the medical bay they had a mannequin with a face. It was a mannequin, and I assumed they'd done an operation on it, but they just had the wrong face mask, and I was absolutely disgusted. So I had to swap the face masks over.
That's just typical. That's just typical.
Well, if you're going to put a display up like that, you've got to make it accurate, haven't you?
Well, this is true. Before we move on, Richard Clements has commented in the chat room. He said he saw what he believed to be an apparition in the tunnels beneath Dover Castle.
Oh, did he come with us, or was it on his own back?
I honestly don't know.
I think I have heard him say this before. He said that he was with a tour, a daytime tour.
Gotcha.
And he was sort of lingering back, and I think he saw a serviceman come out of one of the doors at the back, and he was walking around there, and then he went back in the door and disappeared. And Richard asked about this serviceman, whether or not he was still active, and they were like, no one works here still.
Ah, interesting. Do you know what though? It's one of the one of the sort of stories that's told there, and the people that work there from English Heritage, they're kind of very much skeptics. But if you talk to them about the tunnels, they will tell you a very, very similar story to that.
Yeah. I've been in the tunnels before. Again, when I used to run a scout troop, we took the scouts down there, and we'd done the tours in the tunnels. Not that I see anything, but it was very atmospherical. It was strange down there. It was definitely a place I'd love to investigate, and I will be.
And Carl Hutchinson says the Brighton police cells are a great location.
Yeah, they are. They are. You should do it. You should go down there.
I'm gonna have a look and book it at some point.
I'm sure you will. My goodness me, you two are just like talking location favourites, aren't you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Been to so many. Shrewsbury Prison's my favourite so far.
Yeah. We're kind of playing top trumps with each other, aren't we?
Yeah.
Top trumps of locations. So Steph has asked a question. She said, can you believe in one thing and still be a skeptic?
Of me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you still have, your belief system and still be skeptical?
Do you know what? I think you actually can, because I think there's no problem with taking a step back from the beliefs and questioning it, is there?
No, I think that's actually what's actually quite interesting is things that happen to you actually make you question your belief system sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
I was actually asked today to set up a show, create a show. So I've created for the 21st of November. I've got Donna Fox. What's her name? Donna Fox Butler, is it?
Yeah.
On Facebook, she's agreed to come on to my show after turning down thousands of others' requests, and talk about whether or not faith should be in with paranormal investigators, whether they should be faithless when they go into investigations.
Interesting.
That's an interesting concept, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and I think that's where it. I think because there was a post earlier on, and it went to the extreme about demons and stuff like that, and some of the comments underneath was like, really? Are these people for real? Should they really be putting that out, being that it's based on their own faith? So that's sort of where that show's going to go.
Right. Oh, well, I'll wait to see on that show. Anyway, back to Ghost Hunter Tours. Yeah. What other locations have you got coming up?
Well, I think we've got about 60 odd events coming up over the October month. So this weekend, there's so many to remember, but I mean this weekend we are at the Lamb at Thiel, which is a great location associated with Dick Turpin. Where else are we? We are at the Viaduct Tavern. Of course, this Friday is Friday the 13th. No link to putting lots of events on, I'm afraid. But and I'm just trying to think where else we are. On Saturday we are at Margam Castle.
Very good. That's another one on my list.
Is it?
Yeah.
So have I just trumped Shrewsbury Nick?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
But I've got an event on Friday the 13th.
Who's got an event on Friday the 13th?
Trident Paranormal's got an event.
He's sending me out. He's actually sending me out to do the event for him.
Yeah, and I'm doing your show.
Yeah, you're doing my show for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going into a woods. I do love a wood in the middle of the night, don't you?
Yeah. Where are you going then?
I'm going to a little wood that's quite local to me called Hockley Woods.
Ah, that's very good, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm taking a little group of people on Friday the 13th. So, guys, if you want to join me, then please book your tickets. A little shameless plug. Plug there. Sorry, I know this is about you, but I had to get my little plug in there.
No, I'm going to help you. www.tridentparanormal.com.
Thank you. So, yeah, and Paul's actually doing my show about shadow people on Friday night. So what's your take on shadow people, Andrew? My views of that are on my website, www.ghosthuntertours.com. No, I've shared that into the chat room for you.
Do you know what? I think they're actually sort of one of the most interesting things to experience if you go on a ghost hunt. I actually do, because if you see something like that, and that was one of the first things I ever saw on a ghost hunt, if I'm honest, and it's sort of wow, and it just really makes you think. So I'm a fan of those. There. Yeah,
I've experienced them again. That was at Shrewsbury Prison a week before a certain TV show done it.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, I was actually sitting in the men's wing on the stairs. All the other guests had gone up to the top cells, and I could see down the end of the corridor they had like a segregation part, and there was this black shadow man just poked his head around the door to look at what I was doing, and then went back, and then he'd done it again 2 or 3 times. This was, so I thought, no, it's my eyes playing tricks. It's rubbish. No, don't take that. And then I went back in there with one of the other groups, and they saw a shadow man in the same area, just a full body, and he jumped into the cell.
Wow.
And then another couple of the groups experienced the same thing as well, all from different angles. And I think one group actually went into the cell, and they saw the shadow person walk past the door. That's was another
impressive.
One. Yeah,
that's impressive.
And it was all in the same segregation area. But we don't get the groups talking to each other until the end. It was what we do, like what we call debrief.
Yeah.
And that's when it all come out that we all had the same experience. That was really strange.
Yeah, I mean that sounds absolutely awesome. But that's like right up my street. I'd love to have experienced that.
Yeah. So we've opted for Shepton Mallet Prison next year.
You're playing a game again.
I know.
I'm going to start getting score.
I'll tell you, it can't beat Dover Castle. Do you know what I mean?
No, I was going to say Dover Castle's a big one there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you get shadow people, can you get shadow animals, is asked?
You've got to be able to, haven't you?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, using that,
thanks for that.
That show that done Shrewsbury Prison a couple of weeks after we went there, they claimed that they saw what appeared to be a shadow dog. Did they experience that or not? I don't know, but it's a possibility. Why not? Let's say yeah, they did. Yeah. Why not? It's possible, and there's plenty of stories around the whole country of black shucks and shadow dogs, and so why not? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have that.
I'll just put that out there.
It's folklore, isn't it?
It is a folklore thing, but a black shuck is different from a shadow person creature thing, isn't it?
Well, you don't know
They have a
because
very
it's only.
specific. They have a very specific
But when they're
feel
seen,
and look.
but when they're seen, they're in the dark, they're black, and you just see the red glowing eyes, or the green glowing eyes, or whatever colour they happen to be.
Okay, well, Mark D does say he was informed by a practitioner of the occult that it was their opinion that shadow people are elementals taking the form of humans, so why not animals?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much where you're going with this, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it was, yeah. He just said it better.
He's just worded it different.
Yeah. Or they could be interdimensional beings and just
Oh, God.
imprinting themselves on this dimension.
Oh, here we go, interdimensionals. Now, Carl Hutchinson says that there is a shadow dog which is seen regularly at Fort Horsted.
Yep, I've been
Is
there.
there?
Yep, I've been there, and I didn't see it. It was its night off.
Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean to say it doesn't happen.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was his night off. It's fine.
What's the strangest thing you've seen, Andrew, on an investigation?
Well, I mean, I can't honestly say I've seen what I would say a strange thing. I'm a big fan of strange things that happen that you just can't explain that happen to you, if you know what I mean. It's like I like that moment where everyone goes, "Was that you?" or "Did you hear that?" That's what I like about ghost hunts. And you know, that's the bit that sort of I think is like quite impressive when a group of people hear a strange thing happen together. That's just really no explaining. That's the bit that I like.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple of people on one of our events, and one of the women was actually crying her eyes out because she saw ghost hunting on the TV and didn't think it was real. So when she come out with us and she was hearing voices over the voice box, it scared her so much she was crying her eyes out, and we had to take her out of the room. Yeah, she just thought that because it was on the telly, it's faked, and that's what she was expecting, a fake evening.
Did you have the green lights on as well?
Do you know what? I wasn't in that particular group, so I really don't know what was going on. But
Yeah,
it just the fact that she was so adamant that what we was doing was the same as what was on the telly.
yeah.
And then she realised, well, actually, it's real. What the hell? And then started crying. So she had to leave.
Has she been back? Did she come again?
Oh yeah. No, she does. Yeah, she does come back. It was just that I think it was a bit of a shock for her.
Yeah.
But she loves ghost hunting, and she keeps coming back for more. Strange person, I suppose, but.
Oh, I don't cane her because she's putting money in your pocket.
We looked after her. We looked after her, and she was quite happy with that. And yeah, she keeps coming back.
So, Andrew, what's one of the biggest challenges you face when dealing with the public?
Do you know what? I think it's a little bit what Paul was saying. It's people's perception of what a ghost hunt is. You know, obviously most of them, we're quite lucky in that we have a lot of first-time people that come with us, you know, where they've never really known how to get on a ghost hunt, never sort of, you know, always wanted to do it and all that sort of thing. They've watched the TV programs, and I guess it again, like it's like what Paul said, that's what they're kind of expecting.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, you know, you have people, and sometimes you have like events where, you know, an evening is very, very flat, but that's ghost hunting. And sometimes it's managing that sort of disappointment for people where not a great deal goes on.
Yeah. I agree with that, and it is difficult to fill the time when nothing happens.
We normally do a 5-hour history tour.
Yeah, that works. We tend to do the whole, this is the equipment, this is how it works.
Yep.
You know, this is how we would do a paranormal investigation. You know, and we give them the experience of being paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different from some of the ghost hunting teams out there. And again, I think that's what makes us a little bit unique than most, because we are different.
Yeah, and that's good, and that's why you get the people coming back to you, mate, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I'm always in full support of like having other teams join us for the events. So if, say, for example, you know, your team, for example, wanted to come out with us and do an investigation, depending on how many people in your group wanted to come, we'd give you a discount on the tickets for a group, and we basically say, right, okay, well, you're your own group, so we'll put you in that area for an hour and a half or whatever, and then we just rotate you around with the other public groups.
Yeah, so that's a good way of doing it.
You know, and that way it gives you an opportunity to go and sample other people's work. You know, there might be something that we do that you don't, and we can learn from each other. You know, and I'm all in favour of that.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. And it also it gives a lot of smaller paranormal groups the chance to do locations that would just be too expensive for them to do, and that's really unfair on a lot of the groups, because some venues are so expensive they would love to do them on their own, but they'd never have a chance to do it. But
that's it. I mean, as I was saying about Shrewsbury, that was like £1,200.
Yeah,
and a small paranormal team wouldn't be able to cope with that.
No.
Well, not all of them anyway. I mean, there might be a few, but yeah. But you know, going with a bigger group like you or myself, or I don't know, some of the other bigger ones out there, I think is a good way of learning and joining in with other groups.
And it's also very nice for us, like you said as well, to sort of like, you know, we learn off of them as well. You know, there's some fantastic investigators out there that are just doing their thing, you know, weekend, you know, every weekend, and you know. It's been a great way that we've recruited people into our teams, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah.
You should definitely try out for the Para convention next year.
Yeah.
Either Sage or Paraforce.
Yeah, you was there, wasn't you?
Yeah, we went to the Paraforce one.
Yeah.
That was really awesome, and you know we got to do a couple of experiments with the guest speakers. Afterwards, an investigation.
Brilliant.
So, you know, we learned a few more experiments that we could utilise in our events. So I'll come away with some good ideas.
Yeah, no, that's really good. It's nice when everything's shared like that, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's how the paranormal should be.
100%.
We should all be, you know, all be friendly to each other, respect each other's opinions, and, you know, learn from each other. That's the way forward.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. You see too much that other people don't want to speak to other groups and things like that. I just always see that, and I just think, why? You know, we've all got the same hobby. We're all driven by the same passion. Everyone can learn off everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was talking to someone earlier about this as well, and it just boils down to respect. There just isn't much respect sometimes. And that's where some of these nastiness comments comes from. I don't know, it's just silly.
Yeah, 100% with you there.
Yeah. So Kerry, what's happening in the chat room anyway?
Well, they're all talking about black dogs. That set off a little discussion going on about the black dog phenomena. And Mark has said that the black dog tales have their roots in smugglers in coastal areas attempting to scare people away from their activities. Which does sort of ring true, really, doesn't it? Because no one wanted to be disturbed while they were doing their smuggling.
No, the last thing you want when you bring the fags in the country is like police hanging around, don't you?
I think we're going back a bit before fags, mate. Maybe tobacco leave, but not cigarettes. No, there's
cheap
nothing
vodka
that's
that you get.
the cheap vodka, yeah, the rum. It's got to be the rum. There's one thing that's hit the news recently, and I bring this up because I know that you're going there soon, aren't you? To Pluckley, about ghost hunters leaving a mess. I was incensed about this particular
That annoyed
article.
me, that did.
I was incensed. What was your take on that, Andrew?
Well, I'm the same as probably every responsible paranormal fan going. I mean, it's laughable, isn't it? I mean, I live right on the doorstep of Pluckley. That's where I am. I'm in Maidstone, and I just find it absolutely unbelievable that ghost hunters have been blamed for all of that, and it's absolutely bizarre. You're absolutely right. We are there on Halloween night doing a story night with an author called Neil Arnold, who may be on the show at some point.
I'm working on him.
Yeah, he hasn't answered yet, has he?
Not yet.
No. And the people of Pluckley are going absolutely berserk because we're having a story night there, and we're taking phone calls from the people, literally ranting at us like crazy, like coming in and destroying our village and everything like that. It's really unfair. I mean, there's a lot of other people that go there. And like Paul said earlier, I mean, what ghost hunters take a tent with them?
Yeah, I don't know any group that takes a tent with them.
No.
I've done Pluckley, and when I did Pluckley, we were followed by a group of about 20 youths. They're all teenagers, and we ended up calling it was only a tiny little team, so it wasn't a big event or anything like that. And we ended up calling off the investigation because obviously, what can you do? You've got these youths running around the woods and screaming and shouting and disrupting and trying to scare you, and you're like, really? Do you know what I mean? And
did you take a tent with you? More important.
No, we had just stuff you could carry. I mean, we weren't even like teched up like you would be on an internal location. Yeah. So we had really basic kit and with us, and we had some interesting things, but everything was discounted because of these youths, because you just can't work in those circumstances. And I would say it's got to be more that sort of thing than pinning it on the ghost hunters. It was absolutely awful. That article really incensed me. I mean, Carl's just put in the chat room, I have done Pluckley so many times, and to be honest, you have more kids in cars in the woods hanging out drinking booze. So it's not the ghost hunters making the rubbish, it's the local youth. And I agree with that.
I think what we should do...
I really think that was an unfair statement of that Forestry Commission guy that said that. That was incredibly wrong. Perception of what ghost hunting or paranormal investigation is. It actually is. I was so incensed about that.
Yeah, I think we should do our own investigation and find out actually who it was that done it.
Well, I think we can already say we know exactly who it is.
Yeah, but we want to hang around now and take photos of people and dump in the stuff.
Do an investigation on the youth of Pluckley rather than the ghosts of Pluckley.
Well, I can definitely tell you it wasn't me. I was at Dover Castle and Paul was at Shrewsbury Prison.
Yep.
Back to the top trumps.
I'm planting crowbars for the following weeks of...
And Mark has actually said he holds a strong opinion that what do the villagers of Pluckley expect, particularly as they kind of encouraged it, holding the haunted hotel there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That big event. I mean, we actually went before the haunted hotel event. This was like when it wasn't really on the map in regards to publicity, as it did. But after that, there was going to be an explosion of people visiting. Of course there was. What were they expecting?
I hope they rerun that this year.
I think it's going to be a haunted... That last year was Haunted Hotel. I think this year it's going to be called something like the Haunted Mansion or something. Or it might actually...
you know what? I'm gonna write an email to the Forestry Commission after the show.
Oh, good for you. You do that.
I will.
You do that.
They're going to bring it all on themselves. A public apology.
And also, they pushed, Mark again has put, they pushed the strapline that this is the most haunted village in England, presumably to attract trade to local businesses. The moan when the great unwashed turn up in their droves. And even the article itself can be seen to be publicity for the village. Now, a question has been asked by Carl. In your view, what is the most active locations you guys have been to, and in what way?
Oh, for me, New Fort Tavern in Gravesend in the wartime fort. We had some fantastic sort of activity from on some boards there from some soldiers. We had people speaking in German and things like that. So for me, that was pretty impressive to watch. You're gonna say Shrewsbury Prison, aren't you?
I'm not actually. No. I went to a location in Telford called The Block. It was a place like an office block, but the airsoft people used it, and there were some places that even the airsoft people like going in. So they opened it up to paranormal investigators, and from the moment we turned up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to the moment we went home, there was activity going on. We had the airsoft pellets being thrown at us. We had, when everyone was outside having cigarette breaks, we heard children running up and down the corridors. We had about 6 or 7 women in one of the groups, all feeling sick, so they had to leave the area. There was just so much going on in that building. But sadly, they've knocked it down now.
So even if the location has been knocked down, I wonder if there's activity on the ground still. I
would have thought so. Not that they'd probably notice. But I think if they built it back up into flats, then the flats may get the activity.
What's your take on that, Andrew?
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think there has to be sort of something there for something to happen. So yeah, I'm on the same page as Paul.
I mean, it works on the same principle as I don't know if you know about. I think on one of the roads to Canvey Island, there's supposed to be a report of a Roman soldier walking down the road, but you can only see him from knees upwards, or is it waist upwards? Because the road he's actually walking on is still down low.
Ah, interesting.
So he's walking on the road as it was.
I've never heard that story.
Okay. I'm
not saying you're wrong. I just haven't heard that one.
Okay.
I know the Treasury's House in York was the same principle, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's the same thing where you get ghosts walking through walls. They don't literally walk through the wall. It's the fact that there might have been a door there that they would have used when they were using that building. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Mark actually says that he thinks that's the Strood at Mersey Island.
Oh, it could be.
Because I live there on Canvey, and I don't think
could
there's a Roman.
I didn't live far away from Strood at one stage, so it could have been there then.
Yeah, it's an island.
Yeah, it's an island, close enough.
And as we said before, the famous one is the one I know about is in York, in the Treasury House with the Romans. Do you remember the electrician was doing some work? And first of all, a horse head came through, didn't it?
Yeah. So, you know what? This is why I reckon there's not many reports of dinosaur ghosts, because they're still like 65 million years under the ground. Yeah.
They're too far, and they're haunting like the baseline.
They're walking on their ground level, and we're above it.
An hour ago, I was happily ignorant of this.
Oh dear!
But it's true, isn't it?
It is, and there's theories like that, but we just never know. So we just got to guess. I mean, it's either that, which is quite a logical explanation, given that there's ghosts that walk through walls that used to be doors there instead. So it's quite plausible an explanation.
Yeah.
But equally, you're talking about a 65 million year old energy. Is it still going to be powerful enough to manifest? That's another, because I mean energy would dissipate over time, I would have thought. So over 65 million years, again, it's a plausible reckoning that it just hasn't got the power anymore. Yeah, there you go. Silence.
Well, there's food for thought for you.
I'm just like, wow.
I know. We were like, okay, now we're talking about dinosaur ghosts.
Yeah.
Things going on in my head on that one, but we won't go into that on this show.
No. No, best not.
So Halloween is looming very, very quickly. What is on the Halloween thing? It's so popular nowadays, isn't it? The Halloween phenomena. We'll say, I love that word.
Phenomena.
Go back 20 or 30 years ago, it wasn't such a thing.
I'm not really old enough to remember. North Pole.
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
You explain it. I mean, yeah, you know more about it than I do.
Now everybody sees like a highlight of the paranormal world that on Halloween you have to be out investigating. Is there any more activity on Halloween than there is any other time of the year, have you found?
No,
I don't. I think there's just more going on. So there's more. I guess there's more reported stuff because more people are out there looking for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think
it's exactly the same as you would get any other time of the year.
Yeah, and it's almost like that. It's that time of the year that they sort of celebrate the monsters and the mythical and ghosts and stuff. So it just seems a perfect time to want to do a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
It's definitely got more of the scare factor, particularly from a public perception. They're going, oh, we're going out on a ghost hunt on Halloween.
Yeah. What bugs me more is these groups that go out and do like the zombie nights where they walking around having people jump out to scare them. I'm like, why do that? You just perfectly good ghost hunt happening down the road. Go and do that. That's real. It's like, not that one. Not the zombie stuff. No. Oh
no, I still fancy doing the zombie fest thing.
Oh no, I've done one and I'm never doing it again. Never. No one's ever going to get me to do one, ever.
No, I still fancy doing that. I'm not going to lie. Andrew, have you ever done a zombie fest thing?
Do you know what? I think I don't even know what one is.
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, I mean, why would you not do another one?
It's scary. I'm quite sceptical and I don't jump at much. Even going to the cinema for scary films, I don't jump. I just think they're funny. But this particular one we went to was down in London Dungeons. The archways under the railway. It was in that, and they'd, the 6 foot high metal fences. They put it into like a maze, and they actually had men and women dressed up in those Black Death masks with big beaks and. And they'd come up to you and touch your face and just do the whole zombie thing. And then you had people grabbing your ankles and stuff. And I actually did get lost in this maze. And I was like, excuse me, can you tell me which way we're going? So he directed it into one of these rooms. And in this room, there was a girl in there that was dressed like the one from The Ring. She had a hammer in one hand, a bare feet, walking on broken glass. They had like blood all over the place as well for the imagery. And this woman, she picked up the hammer and smashed it on the door. Must have been about an inch from my face. That scared me. I won't.
They really enjoy it, don't they? The people that do that sort of stuff, don't they?
Yeah. And because we got lost, it made it even worse because we didn't know where we had to go afterwards. And it was like, where do we go? So when we finally did make our way out of it, there was a bar there, so I had to have like a few shots of whiskey after.
It does make you wonder if they would come out of character if someone was really suffering, if someone had a heart attack, would they still be going,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, yeah.
Oh,
right.
no, we done that, and then we went down to Charlton House for something a bit more calm.
We're on a ghost hunt. We're back to the normal thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't do the zombie thing. I can do the ghost hunt.
Oh,
my
it was
goodness.
funny because the group of people that I went with, they were a bunch of cowards as well, right? We was going round hand in hand, and they pushed you forward first. It's like, what? No, I'll so never do one. No way.
I would. I want to do one. After I've done one, I probably say I never want to do one again.
No, exactly. There are some really extreme ones. I saw that there was one up north somewhere that do like a camping trip, and you go and set your tent up and stuff that they provide, but then at midnight, someone could come along and chainsaw the side of your tent, drag you out, tie you to chairs, and do God knows what to you. All like horror film extreme stuff.
Yeah, that's too extreme.
Yeah,
but why travel up there? You could get that at Pluckley.
That's just in the locals.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? So take your tent to Pluckley, get a local come and do that. It's free.
Exactly. That's what they left there. That's what it is. That's what they're doing.
Okay, I've got to tell you what's happening in the chat room because it's actually quite funny. Richard said that if you're looking for ghosts, we're talking about the Halloween thing, weren't we?
Yeah.
And they're saying, but if you're looking for ghosts that are pre-1751, you have to look 11 days earlier because there was a calendar change, wasn't there? And I said, you bring in the Gardenian calendar again, and it's actually the Gregorian calendar. So every time I call it something different.
So Halloween started 11 days earlier, is that right?
Pre-1751, yeah.
Well, that's great because I start promoting my Halloween events in September. So
You're on par.
I'm okay.
That's it. I've sold out of my Halloween event, so that's fine. Not a problem.
And Carla
is that at Shrewsbury Prison?
No, it's at Reigate House, funny enough.
Oh, okay.
Before, because of the time of year has become more popular, it comes down to faith again. If you believe the veil becomes thinner between the spirit world and the human world. So, yeah, I suppose for Halloween hunters, it would, if your belief system is the veil is thinner, you're more open to the fact that you might well see a ghostie or two.
But then I think that boils down to the fact that when you do a normal ghost hunt any other part of the year, if you get a really good group of people, you get more activity. If they if they interact a little bit more, then they get the reactions. Where if you get a group of skeptics that don't believe it, think it's a load of rubbish, and are really hard work, you won't get any activity whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, at Halloween, it's more believers that come out, I think. So that might be why there's more activity on a Halloween.
I love converting a skeptic, though.
Yeah, we've done that as well. It is an awesome feeling, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we've done that at Fort Amherst in Chatham.
Yeah.
That was blinding, that place. The gatehouse is amazing in there. If you ever get a chance to do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's right on my doorstep. But those guys do a really long fright night for the Halloween thing.
Yeah. We done just a normal investigation. I think it was the summer, and we booked the tunnels, and we didn't know that the gatehouse wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
So we said to them, because there's no one there, is there any chance that we could get in? And he's like, did you book it? And I was like, well, no, I didn't know I had to book it separately. No, told us. And he was like, oh, well, this once I'll let you in. So I was like, blinded. And I think a lot of teams go there and just do the tunnels.
Yeah.
Not many people do the gatehouse, and the gatehouse is where we got the most activity. So I contacted them a couple of weeks later and I said, look, I want to do the gatehouse. I don't want the rest of the tunnels. the tunnels were rubbish. It's the gatehouse that I want. And they're like, no, you can't have one without the other.
They don't charge any more for it, do they?
No, and yeah, they do. They charge £50 extra for the gatehouse.
Do they?
Well, they did when we acquired. And I was like, well, I don't want the tunnels. You know, the tunnels are done to death.
Yeah.
And,
I know why they didn't charge me extra.
What was that?
It's because I'd done Dover Castle.
Oh, that was it, totally. Yeah.
And Carla said the area on top of the fort is even better than the gatehouse.
So no, I didn't do that bit.
Wow, you missed a trick there, Paul.
Right, well, we're going to do that. We're going to have to do that now.
So what's the biggest challenge organising a public investigation? I mean, both of you guys run companies that sell ghost tours or ghost hunts. Mm-hmm. So what's your biggest challenges? Andrew, first?
Having any credibility after being on this. No, it's. Do you know what? It's. There's lots of companies out there, and there's lots of choice for people. But I think it's offering something different to people, and being able to show that. Paul's events are very much like that. They do fantastic events. I've been on one. They are great, honestly, and I think it. You know, as companies, we're all probably measured in the same way until you go on one. So I would say that's probably what the challenge is: making yourself look different until someone's been on one.
Yeah, okay. And I think another issue, because there are so many companies out there, you are sort of competing. And to get the advertising right is another issue. But, you know, you just got to concentrate on your unique selling points and get bums on seats, so to speak. And then once they're there, they'll keep coming back, assuming you're good at it.
Oh, dear.
Just make it enjoyable. I think that's another good way of doing it. I mean, there are teams out there that will just sit there in the dark, keep calling out. People can find that boring. But if you get, as I said, get a good group of people, I mean, I've got quite a good team and they're all friendly and talkative and, you know, they're good bunch of people. So mixing them with another good bunch of members of the public, they do end up having a really good, fun night. And a bit of ghost hunting thrown in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and then they just keep coming back more and more.
So try different companies is what you're saying, and find one that fits your energy the best, or the way you like to work the best.
Yeah. But I do come across people that go to one ghost hunting company and then they turn around and say, well, I don't want to try anyone else. This is the company for me. But they'll do it, but not experiencing any other company. I think that's sort of cutting their nose off to spite their face, because it's all about learning at the end of the day, and you ain't going to learn from one company.
No, I agree with that as well.
So I mean, I'm all in favour of sharing, and you know, even my team members, I've always said to them, if they want to go and do a ghost hunt with another company, go for it. I don't mind. I'm not going to stop them, because they can go there and they can learn from them. If they do something that we don't, bring it back. You know, we'll all learn from each other. And they could even go on that ghost hunt and they say, well, you know, this is how we do this experiment. And they can learn from us as well. So it's swings and roundabouts. So
yeah, I agree, and I think that's one thing I've learned is that, you know, talk to different teams, work with different teams, because everyone works slightly differently and you learn a lot from other people.
Yeah, I mean, we've just taken on someone that works really well with crystals.
I don't know who that might be.
No, can't imagine. And she does a lot of crystal work with our guests. And again, that's something that you don't get in any other team. You know. So she's
That'd be me.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm got all blushy now.
It's just a unique point to it, and it's something that other groups don't do. But you're ours, so there you go.
I'm all yours, Paul.
I'm going to turn ahead. I'm taking her to Dover Castle.
That's okay, Andrew. I'll give you a little private demonstration.
That's fine. That's fine. I've got on contract.
I love this. 2 men fighting over me. Oh my God.
So I'll hire out for you. It's fine. She does private parties as well.
I am literally red right this second. Yeah, I do work very uniquely in the paranormal field with crystals, and I've not seen somebody else work in the way I work so far in the field, and the public find that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and then when you put your crystal grids out and stuff, and it's like, well, that's pretty.
Oh, it's not pretty. There's a point. There's a point to it.
Yeah, but then you can sit there and explain it to them, and it brings a little bit more learning and uniqueness to the event.
It certainly does, and people do seem to like it, so that's good.
And it looks pretty.
And it's incredibly pretty. I hate you at times, Paul.
I know. You can't help it. It's so easy to wind you up. It's funny.
It's so easy. Anyway.
Yeah, we have come to the end of the show.
Believe it or not.
I know. Time flies when you have fun.
It certainly does.
I don't feel like I could ever be the same again.
Well,
that's all right. We do counselling as well. It's fine.
Experience now.
We'll put you in for the 3 months counselling. It's fine.
Dear me.
Oh dear. Well, I want to thank you, Andrew, for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. And we will have to have you on again. Next time you do Dover Castle, we'll do Dover Castle
special.
Yeah. I'm totally up for that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We will definitely do that.
Fantastic. And I want to thank everyone for joining us in the chat room. It's been a pleasure again, and the chat is also awesome. I love reading the chats afterwards. And thank you, Kerry, for joining me.
You're very, very welcome, as always.
What have we got coming up for next week?
Next week, we're looking at paranormal events abroad with Paul Stevenson, I believe.
Paul Stevenson, yes, I'm looking forward to that. He's on a rival talk show tonight.
He is, but that's okay because we love the other rival talk show too. So we're not going to mention them because obviously, competition and all that. But we are talking about another hot topic. Another hot topic in the public eye at the moment is paranormal events abroad. And there's been a bit of controversy over that one. So we're going to be talking about that next week.
Yeah, I keep my topics in the fridge because I don't like them when they're all melted and horrible.
Oh, I do love a hot topic.
Yeah. It's just like hazelnut and melted chocolate all over it.
Dipped in your tea. It's fantastic.
It's a mess. Anyway, on that note, I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we shall see you all next week.
Hello, Harry Price here. Good evening. If there's nothing myself and everybody else enjoy here on the other side more is the sit back and relax and listen to Parasearch Radio with its paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Make sure to find out more about them on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web, whatever they are, to keep up to date with all their broadcasts throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do over here. Hello? Is anybody there?